again. And the issue it's having, turn the key on, the blower motor only works on 5, or in other words, high. So, on these Envoys, it's kind of just like the Trailblazer and most of the cars. You got the wiring that comes from the fuse box under the hood, through the firewall, in through the dash, into this control unit here, and then there's wiring that go down up underneath the passenger side glove box, where you will have a resistor pack. And a resistor pack has a lot to do with the fan speeds, and if you have climate control and all that. Then it goes from that resistor to the blowing motor fan up underneath the dash there. Yeah, if that goes out, it won't work, because that resistor is what gives you all the speeds. So, that box down there, it's a new resistor, and I'm going to be installing the new one. Hopefully the pigtail isn't melted. If the pigtail's melted, then it's got a replacement pigtail in there. I'll have to cut, splice, crimp the wires, put the new pigtail on, and it should be good to go. But hopefully the pigtail is fine and we just replace the resistor, but we'll see. All right, so we're up underneath the passenger dash. I'm just kind of laying on my back. So look up underneath here. It's one of the many comfortable positions mechanics or repair people have to get into to see this stuff and fix this. But here is, right there is your blowing motor, and that there is the resistor that I was telling you about. You see the wire comes out to there. This red and black wire go to the fan, and then this harness goes up under the dash. So that resistor right there is our problem. It's got 2 hex head screws, probably a 7mm to take that out, and a couple pigtails to unplug. We'll pop the new one in, plug it in, and see what happens. Oh, God. Okay. Now, here's the new one. We got a new pigtail here. You can see it's got some wire crimps in case you have to replace the pigtail. This is that resistor pack I just showed you. This side you saw from underneath. This side you can't see, that goes up into the dash. It's all the resistors. And there's the pigtail that goes into the blower motor. And this pigtail is that wiring harness that comes up from under the dash. So that's that. You're gonna need a small little sock set like this that has a 7mm. And if we have to replace that pigtail, here I need some wire crimps, some alignment pliers. These are just plain old generic wire crimps. They work fine. You can use heat shrink if you want to, but it's not really necessary. It's up to you. So now I'm gonna get to pulling that old one out, putting this one in. Okay, so I was wrong. It's not a 7mm, it's smaller than that, but a 6mm will work just fine to get those out. And now that I got this down, right away, you see these wires are white. That's a really good sign that this has already been replaced, because OEM, stock, those are color coded. And then as I got this down far enough, you see all this electrical tape here, and you see this really thick bundle right here. As you can see, you peel this tape down a little. those are wire crimps. So this has in fact been cut here, and that is a new pigtail. So this pigtail has already been replaced once before, which means this has probably been replaced once before. So this has had this issue before, and looking at it right away, you can tell that's pretty rusty. It's most definitely probably the culprit here. So you got what we got now is this little clip here to remove this pigtail. This pigtail plugs into the blower motor, so I'll have to unplug that so that we can get the new one in. Comparison real quick. You got the new one. See, nice and clean, shiny pigtail, and then you got the old one, really rusty, corroded. And there's the pigtail. Now these appear to be the exact same part. Yeah. And looking at this pigtail, dun dun dun, bad news. Right there, see how that's melted and burnt? That's what happens when this resistor goes out. It melts that pigtail. And right there, you see that socket is burnt and melted. So that would be why this was replaced before, because this went out, they replaced it, they put a new pigtail on it, and now it's gone on again. So now guess what? We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna replace the pigtail and the resistor. So I'm gonna have to remove this mess. And I hate using electrical tape. This is why I use heat shrink, folks. But alright, so I'm gonna have to strip this electrical tape off of here, cut this behind those crimps, strip it back, crimp the new ones on. So here we go. So there's all the electrical tape I just cut off. Here's the pigtail that I just cut off. And then here are the OEM manufacturer wires. There's, like I said, we're color coded. They're all color coded. Blech, why can't I talk today? All right, so the red wire, this is your hot wire, black's ground. Obviously, the rest of these are different speeds for the blower motor control. Gotta get those stripped and spliced. Get this one back on. Gotta make sure we get them in the right order. So I'll be able to use this, because obviously you can see what color went to which one. So after I match these up to this new one, I'll be crimping these on so that I can get this thing hooked back up. So, time to attach the new pigtail. Be right back. Alright, so the one I removed, it's got this nice ABCDEFG on it. That's cool, because then you can say, oh, red wire goes to G, and tan wire goes to A, and white wire goes to B. Okay, that's one way of doing it. Look at this one. It doesn't have that. So, this one's obviously from China. Okay, so what I'm going to do instead, you see how I got this fanned out. Fan these out so you can see what color goes in what position. And we'll just go that way. So we'll just start from right to left. And we know red is G. And then we'll go to the next one, which is orange, black, light blue, purple, white, and tan. And that's the order I will hook them up in. On this one, you know, we'll go, you know, red, orange, black, so on and so forth. You get the idea. Here we go. All right, so now this is all wired up, crimped in. I'm not using electrical tape. I'll just zip tie these, you know, every so many inches, and then roll this up, zip tie it up underneath so it's nice and neat and clean. We don't need this anymore, so it can be thrown away, and this can be installed and plugged in, and then we'll test this out and see what we got. All right, there's the resistor. And it is plugged into the blower motor. It's all wired up, everything's hooked back up. I'm not gonna tuck this all back in until I make sure it works properly. But everything is hooked back up, so now is the real test. Let's see. Well, I need to start that. Turn the key too far. All right. Let's see, put this over here with it. Key's not all the way. Duh. It's high. Lower. We have fan speeds again, folks. I don't know if you can hear it. Alright, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 4, 3, 2, 1, and off. All fixed. Now I'm just gonna roll this up, tuck it up underneath, zip tie it, and I'm done. So, I'll show you how I do that real quick. And as you can see, everything is tucked back up underneath the dash. Just roll it up nice and neatly. Got a zip tie here and here, cut off the excess. And we're done. That's it. There's plenty of wire there, so if I ever have to cut this again, don't have to worry about it. And that's that. That's how to replace the resistor for the blower motor fan in a 2005 GMC Envoy. Not too hard. I think maybe it only took me 30 minutes, if that. I don't know. Easy fix. Thanks for watching.